Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's talk a little bit about price right here. A couple things I want to mention right off the bat here. So first, and I'm probably going to put this in, or something to this effect in the title of the video. I don't know. I'm recording it now. I'll come up with a title later. But there's this piece from Daily Hodl titled 3,239% Bitcoin Supercycle Incoming, predicts hedge fund CEO. Now, that's fascinating because here's what I found. Out of the technical analysts that I follow, most of them, not all, but most of them seem to think that in the short term, we're going to see some more bearish activity. But I also see a lot of people that are looking longer term, bigger picture, including a hedge fund and hedge fund CEO. And there's another one too, Thomas Lee of Fundstrat. And they're all thinking things are going to get really wacky to the positive, actually, ultimately. So I want to share an array of different opinions here, but I think I can tell you this right at the beginning of this video. It seems like most still thinking short-term bearish, but super optimism if you look a little bit past to the mid to maybe longer term. And even more interesting than that to me, remember how, or you know how like all of us here, because look, this is an XRP-centric channel, I'm part of the XRP community, but you know how we in the XRP community like to bitch about how the news doesn't have anything to do with price? Like it doesn't impact it, and you'd think that a cryptocurrency, ideally in an ideal world, it would rise and fall based on its, on its merits, its actual usage, utility, perhaps the news around it. Well, historically, that's not been the case. We know that XRP follows the price action of Bitcoin by and large, but check this out. I'm going to tell you this. XRP today, the price moved based on news. And so I'll tell you about it in just a sec. But before I go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP and you're a fan of XRP rising thanks to positive news, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, and then maybe we can be friends. So let's just start with this, the XRP news. And I've covered this in other videos. I'm not going to get into it in this because we're mostly really just talking about price action here in this video anyway. But there was news that broke this morning, maybe a little over 12 hours ago at the time I record this anyway, about Ripple, the company, being valued at $10 billion with a B after a $200 million Series C funding round. And so, which was big news, absolutely. And right after that news broke, this happened. And you can see here's a tweet from Melbourne Crypto. A big buy up of XRP right after Brad's announcement of $200 million Ripple Series C investment just happened. There's the chart right there. And so I'm going to show you a 24-hour chart just to illustrate what had been happening and what it looks like if you just zoom out a hair further. Real quick though, the market cap for the asset class, 188 billion, Bitcoin at 7,188, and XRP at 19.4 cents at the time of recording. Now here's the 24-hour chart for XRP, and right here where I'm highlighted, right where I'm circling, this is what happened when the news broke. Astonishing, right? Because the news almost never does anything, and it's infuriating, right? Because for us as XRP holders, like, there's so much good news out there. And of course, I always make the case, and I do believe this. I think that the reason that XRP is as high as it is in terms of market cap, the reason it's number 3 is because there is so much good news, and people like me, and probably you, I'm assuming you're an XRP holder if you're listening to this, this is an XRP-centric channel, we get it. We understand that there's something to this, and all of that news keeps us, in part, there's other reasons too, of course. I'm not making an exhaustive list here, but that's one of the big reasons that, of course, we are confident for the long-term prospects of XRP. And so I'd still maintain that news does something. It is important, but this is one piece immediately having an impact in price. And so I hope over time, and I think this will happen because I firmly believe there will be a decoupling, but you're going to see more of this sort of divergence over time where, utility actually matters and will win the day. Because you can see here now, or the 24-hour chart for Bitcoin, it didn't have that big jump. Normally, Bitcoin's the one that has these big jumps and then XRP follows just like every other cryptocurrency, but no. XRP behaved for this little brief moment in time independently. All right, next, 3,239% Bitcoin supercycle incoming, predicts hedge fund CEO. The CEO of the California-based crypto hedge fund Parallax Digital says Bitcoin appears to be gearing up for a long-term super cycle. That sounds That sounds super cool, doesn't it? Really intense. That could bring the price of Bitcoin on a 3,239% surge to $240,000. Now, of course, if this is accurate, this matters to us as XRP holders because, despite what I just said about XRP behaving independently of Bitcoin today, just that little bit, and there's that little price run-up, it's still tethered to the price action of Bitcoin. But that won't stay like that forever. In a new thread on the trajectory of the leading cryptocurrency, Robert Breedlove analyzes Bitcoin's prior price history and predicts the coin's limited supply will play a key role in a long-term bull run that will play out over the next few years. And here's a quote now. Based on this evidence, Bitcoin's scarcity dynamics and the perfect storm central banks around the world are brewing for provably scarce assets with their relentlessly expansionary monetary policies, I am making the following Bitcoin price predictions. And there's three. Here's number one. By the May 2020 halving, $14,000 United States dollars per Bitcoin. By December 2020, the price prediction from him is $20,000, that's USD, per Bitcoin. The third price prediction, by December 2023, $240,000 per Bitcoin. And then he states, at $240,000 per Bitcoin, its monetary network will be valued at almost half of gold's market capitalization of $9 trillion, making its existence terrifying for central bankers and their nation-state nannies. I'm not sure if it will. I'm not sure if it'll do that because there's all sorts of asset classes that are highly valued, but the use case allegedly was supposed to be for be used in place of fiat currencies. That's not so much happening. So why would this be? How would this threaten the nation-state nannies? I just make the case to me. I'll hear you out, but it's not made there. Anyway, Breedlove warns that traders should do their own research and says anything can happen in the especially volatile and risky crypto markets. All right, next, here is another article. Bitcoin could be poised for a huge breakout, Fundstrat's Tom Lee. And he's always all over, not just crypto media, but traditional media, especially CNBC, it seems. Anyway, the end of the year for crypto usually means the time when prices are surging, although this seemed more and more unlikely in 2019. Not only that, but the entire market seemingly started crashing at one point in the last week. Bitcoin even dropped below $7,000, which is the first time the coin had gone that low in 6 to 8 months. However, the coin also made a comeback, which fueled the rest of the market as well, and currently sits at $7,204. But as mentioned, the end of the year is here, and many influential people in the crypto industry have been called upon to share their opinions regarding the current and future state of the market. The most recent predictions came from Permabull Tom Lee. It's a little unfair. I mean, he's bullish long-term, big picture, obviously, but it's not as if he's never said that there could be downward price action. I think that stuff like this is just more likely to get picked up, really. But during the interview, Lee was invited to comment on recent predictions that Bitcoin might achieve huge success in the next few years. He particularly mentioned that predictions stating that Bitcoin will hit 250,000 by 2022 might be more than just optimistic. However, he did admit that Bitcoin is known for making unpredictable moves and that, while unlikely, such a big move might be possible in extreme situations. However, he's more inclined to believe that Bitcoin will reach that in maybe 5 years rather than 2. Still, regardless of what happens, Lee believes that the next few years will be very good for Bitcoin and that it will achieve massive success. And so that's a few notable names there. First, of course, I just covered the hedge fund manager there. Not that he's some household name or even in the world of crypto a well-known name, but somebody notable, somebody running a hedge fund. Then you got Tom Lee, and then I reported in a video just the other day, Tim Draper, he's a fun guy. They all believe in this price point of roughly $250,000 for one Bitcoin now. Next year, here's a tweet from Patty Stash, who is a big proponent for the concept of Altseason coming, which I kind of am too. It's just, to me, I just don't put a timestamp on it. I don't believe that for chart analysis reasons. I believe that for primarily fundamentals, I'd say. But he was talking recently about how Ethereum could run the spike up, and so he had this to say about it. Wondering if the support will be ultimate support for Ethereum here. I added some fiat this week. I've begun scaling into some larger alts again with fresh fiat. keeping all the smaller coins locked and loaded. I'll be looking for Ethereum to break its previous high next pump. And again, we'll see if that actually is something that would ultimately drive the, or be the catalyst, let's word it that way, of the alt season. Here's a tweet from Josh Rager, well-known analyst in the world of crypto. And people ever give you crap about XRP price going from, almost $4 down to today being at about 19.5 cents? Check this out. You ever heard of Z Classic? Doesn't matter. It's ZCL. So here's what Josh Rager tweeted. I just want to add a little perspective. Like, things could be much, much worse. So Z Classic, ZCL, all-time high in January 2018 of $248. Currently, it's trading at 25 cents. So just wanted to say, if you're ever feeling down about XRP, things could be much, much worse. All right, here's an update from Wooston here. And so I noted just yesterday that he has price targets, assuming $6,500 was the bottom for Bitcoin. Price targets is 16,000, then ultimately 25,600-ish, somewhere around there. And somebody named Llama Market responded and wrote, "It isn't the bottom. Still loves me some Bitcoin. Good news, we can pick up Bitcoin at lower prices." To which Wooston responded, so we're getting a sentiment on the bottom. He wrote, "People said the same at 3,200. I trust the charts and math. Anything beyond this is guesswork. Share what you see in the charts." And so he seems to be more optimistic about the idea that perhaps we did see the bottom, which means that we're not going to see really XRP go any lower too, if that indeed is accurate, but we'll see. If it's not accurate and Bitcoin goes lower, who knows? Bets are off for XRP. That's why, a lot of people, and I've covered this in recent videos on the subject of price, could be the case that XRP goes down to 14 to 15 cent region. A lot of chart analysts are saying, but again, if Bitcoin holds or doesn't break below that support level of 6,500, I think that the typical chart analyst, from what I've gleaned from them, would say, yeah, XRP's not going any lower, because there's no reason. It's not going to act that negative in terms of price action independently. There's no reason for it. And then here's a tweet from Alex Kruger, which I just found interesting. He's a chart analyst here, and he wrote this: "Bitcoin is packed with cheerleaders and scammers, both, spreading bullish misinformation. That's the main reason I started tweeting actively in 2017. I'm also bearish now." By the way, he's like a Bitcoin maxer. If he wouldn't describe himself as that, he's definitely anti-Ripple and XRP, I'll say that. But he's bearish on Bitcoin. And then he writes, "If I tweeted mostly about traditional markets, it would be the exact opposite, as I'm mostly bullish there." And perhaps that's true in the short term, but still, as it pertains to traditional markets, I don't know, man. It hasn't been this. I can't remember if I put this in one of my videos, but I was reading an article. I may have mentioned this, that there's an article showing that the stock market hasn't been this overbought since 1933. So there you go. Next, here's a tweet. It was included in an article which is titled, "Beware, hidden bear divergence could spell trouble for Bitcoin." There's a tweet in here from the Wolf of Wall Street which read, "Tread lightly. That amazing bull div on the daily has been followed by hidden bear divs. The rally from a few days ago still looks more like relief than reversal for now. Mixed TA, technical analysis, depending on the time frame. Real potential bullishness starts above $7,800 or so." And so this is another analyst, yet another, and most of them seem to feel this way, that there has not been a trend reversal, which means it's more likely than not that the price is going to go lower for Bitcoin, which means, again, sorry, but if accurate, XRP price going lower too. But whatever, this is all just emotional buying and selling, whatever. We're nowhere near utility actually mattering to a huge degree. It matters, but not to a huge degree yet. So to me, it's like, whatever. In terms of how it emotionally affects me, like, not that I want the price low, I'm just saying, this is not going to ruin my day. All right, and then there is a piece titled, "Bitcoin price is poised to return to $6,500 lows. Analyst explains why." So I just want to share the tweet. This is from Cantor and Clark, who writes, "All I see is a weaker version of what we had before, because we likely have shorts that have been sitting in better positioning from earlier PA. I.e., squeeze was less crowded equals less fuel. Commence a series of head fakes and slow drift back down to the low." and then Bitcoin. So there you go. There's the last opinion there. I'm telling you, that's the prevailing wisdom. We'll see if it's right or wrong. But that's it for this video. Thank you very much for stopping by. Good to see you. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!